Well, hey there. My name is Cal, and welcome to a brand new YouTube channel. This is ArtPG. This is going to be a channel where I do some drawing, some character design, talk about games, and really whatever else I feel like it. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of get started here, and thank you so much, first of all, for clicking on this and checking it out. I really do appreciate that. I thought for a first video, it'd be pretty cool to look at a sketchbook that I completed probably 2 years ago now, and just kind of flip through and see if I could find a drawing that I felt good about, but also may show how much I've already improved just through drawing these last couple of years. And so got my sketchbook right here. This is the first one. I believe this was October of 2021. I started this, and so got a couple of my first kind of drawings, just kind of feeling things out, having a good time. This was when I first decided that you know what, I have the time and I have the desire, and so I'm just gonna give this a shot and start drawing. So flipping through this, I saw this bat right here, and I was kind of excited to give this another crack. It was not actually the drawing that I intended to do for this video, but flipping through it, I just couldn't pass it up. I've always liked this bat, and I thought now I could maybe even do a better version. And so got on my sketchbook on paper first and just started kind of feeling it out a little bit. Doing different faces, different bodies. This is kind of my go-to method as I am feeling out a character that I want to design. I just try a couple different poses and faces, and luckily with this one, obviously, a lot of the hard work was already done, having drawn this before, and I really wanted to capture a lot of the feeling that I did in this first drawing. Even at the time when I completed this one, I was really happy with it. I think he's pretty cute, and so I didn't want to lose too much of his personality in there. So this is a new sketchbook that I'm using right now. I'm serving tables as a job, and so it was important to me to get a sketchbook that fit in my apron, so that if we have a slow day or something, I can pull out my sketchbook and just doodle away. And so I've really enjoyed this size, and the pencil that I'm using is also really nice. I wanted to give the bat a little bit of like a chubby tummy this time around. I thought that would add to the cuteness a little bit. Not that he isn't chubby in the original, he's just kind of covering it with the wings, I imagine. But I wanted to kind of show that off just a little bit, and also maybe give him a bit of a bigger smile. Just kind of, pull out that cute factor just a little bit more. And so I was pretty happy with this sketch. So getting set up here, you can see I did a couple more little sketches just to try to really wrap my head around what I was doing, and went ahead and moved on over to the iPad. And so the first thing I did once I got started on the iPad was I started to put my hair directly into the camera lens. I've got a very kind of wonky setup here to record. I don't have like a good, I don't know what it's called, like a some type of device to hold my camera, like an arm or anything like that. And so I got set up to the best of my ability, and then immediately forgot that the camera was there. And so I've kind of tried to edit it around that. It's not super great looking through my strands of hair. If I knew the top of my head was going to be on camera, I probably would have made myself look a bit nicer. But yeah, took the liberty of editing around that to the best of my ability. But for those of you that were really excited to see my hair, I did leave a little bit in, just so everybody gets what they want, what they're looking for here. There you go. But yeah, sketch is done. Moving on to the line work here. I'm using a pen from a pen pack I got pretty recently on Procreate here, and trying to capture that pen and ink feel to it. There you can see I've got a little bit of his tummy in, and so just bringing in some of those lines. And I can already tell that I have learned quite a bit. I definitely did more, kind of setting up the structure of the body and the basic shapes that I'm going to be using for this. And I think the pose already off the bat is off the bat. That's good. Anyway, much stronger now that I've been doing this for a bit longer now. I'm putting a bit more thought into those things. And that's a big hope of mine for this channel in general, is that I can look back at a later date and kind of see the growth that I have accomplished over some degree of time, and see how I'm changing as an artist. And it's also helpful for me even now, just like looking back and watching myself draw. I can see things that I, maybe would do a little differently now. Maybe that yeah, things that I wouldn't have put as much thought into, but now that I'm being forced to actually, not forced, but now that I am watching it back, I'm able to take that second crack at it and kind of decide, are these choices the best choices that I could be making? And I think a lot of that thinking will come up when it comes to the coloring and the shading in particular. I feel like I struggled a bit with this one. But I like his little feet. I like his little toes. Very cute character here. I have not named this guy. Maybe I need to think about that a little bit. I think he's a Toby. I think this is Toby the bat. Decided to give him some little fangs here, and he's got a big welcoming smile, which I think is important to Toby. When you come into his cave, one of the first priorities for him is he wants you to feel very welcome there, very warm and inviting little guy. Friend to everyone, Toby. That's what people like about him. So, another thing I wanted to try this time was, actually drawing the inside of the bat wing, get a little bit more of that profile. Bat wings were something when I was first doodling in like middle school and high school. I loved drawing bat wings. I was really into bands like Avenged Sevenfold, and so I would try to draw their emblem, which has those bat wings on it, and that was just something that I really got into. And I would draw dragons as well from time to time. And so a bat wing has always been kind of an aesthetic and a shape that I've been really drawn to. And so it was fun to kind of harness some of that energy, because I haven't really drawn stuff like that in a while. Um, Again, kind of trying to capture the feel of the original drawing here with the little hairs kind of sticking out. I didn't go as dense with these hairs. I tried to go for a little more stylized, I don't know, vibe. I had in mind that I was going to be adding color and shading to this, and so I didn't want to crowd it up too much. Although looking back now, maybe that would have been cool. I don't know. I also decided to give him a little belly button here. I thought that would be cute, and I was right. So adding more hair here. It's a bit of a long process adding all these little strands of hair, but I was pretty happy with how it came out in the end. Um, as far as this channel, I mentioned games. I am a big D&D guy, or just role-playing games in general, and so that's a big inspiration for a lot of my art, is drawing characters, kind of in a world-building sense. There was an artist that I saw the other day. Oh gosh, I want to say his name is Jake Parker. Jake Parker, yep. He had a saying, it's actually in his bio on Instagram. He says, building a universe one drawing at a time. And that really inspired me, because it's kind of what I've been, thinking about doing for a little while. But he kind of put it into some nice words there. And that's just kind of deciding that no matter what I draw, this all exists in one universe or galaxy, or whatever. And so world building has been something that I've really been drawn to for my whole life. And so the idea of every character I draw being a part of this kind of grand world is really cool. And so Toby's a part of that now. He's in this world that you will be able to see parts of as I continue with this channel. But this channel's not just for me. I'm going to be having my buddy Taylor on. We're going to do some art together and kind of add characters to this world as well. And I may, bring other people on. And I think collaboration is another big goal for me in this channel. Kind of just, meeting other artists, bringing them on, learning from their drawings. That's one thing that I've learned recently that I really have a great appreciation for, is being able to enjoy someone else's art and watch them draw and learn from them, and kind of collaborate and create a story together. Um, I think that storytelling is really what I love about art, being able to show a character that is in my head and pick details out about them that tell you a bit about their personality and all the little decisions that go with that. Like the color of Toby here being a really nice light pink to start with. That was the one thing that was clear to me right away, was those kind of fleshy bits of him are going to be a nice light pink. And then I chose kind of a blue, and I think I actually desaturate this blue a little bit later to give him a bit more of a gray feel. But yeah, putting on this blue here, and I was pretty happy with how this ends up turning out. One downside to the pen that I'm using, as you just saw there, was I'm not able to use the fill tool because of the kind of scratchy, or I don't want to say blotchy, but the nature of this pen is kind of, it'll leave holes in the lines, which I love. I love the look of that, but it means the fill tool does not really know how to fill it. So it kind of leaves me with the decision of, do I go back in and close all those lines, or do I just use the lasso? And so I wound up using the lasso this time. Seemed to me a lesser of two evils there. But yeah, if I was doing it again, maybe I'd use a different pen for line work. Although I do really like kind of the style, this kind of scratchy pen and ink vibe that comes with this pen. One of my favorite parts of coloring is kind of getting one piece done, filling out the head of the character and just kind of taking a look and being like, oh yeah, there he is, a little bit more alive than he was just moments ago. Gets me really excited. And that's another thing that I love about art, is every step along the way, you can kind of look back and be like, I don't know, there's progress. There's something happening here. Trust the process, as they say. And so that's really cool for me as well. But yeah, Toby here, like I said, very welcoming guy, very warm. I think he likes to have friends over to his cave. He's a big host. He always makes sure that everybody has snacks and, has people's allergies in mind. He's very thoughtful little guy, making sure that everybody feels welcome. Um, so I think we could all learn from Toby a little bit. He's very very caring for his friends, and everybody needs a friend like Toby. And if you don't have a friend like Toby, maybe be the friend like Toby. That's one thing that I've been thinking about lately. Is you can, I'm sure, at least those of us that are lucky enough to you know, remember back to a friend that you have at one point, or maybe it's a friend that you have now that just always made you feel really warm and welcome, and was just, I don't know, just really loving in a very open way, and didn't feel nervous about that at all. They just, it was important to them to make the people around them feel loved. And I just kind of had the realization lately, like, there's no reason that I can't do that. I'm definitely an overthinker, and I, yeah, get really kind of trapped in my head at times, and especially when it comes to social situations. And I found lately that just focusing more on making other people feel like they are liked, and like they are, welcome in any given situation, that really helps me out a lot. And yeah, there's no reason that you can't also be that guy or that girl or that whoever in your life. Make the people around you feel like they're important, because they are. Anyway, yeah, that's Toby, and we're onto the shading now. I finally landed on the kind of blue gray color that I was looking for. And I think out of this drawing, thinking back on it, the part that I struggled with the most is the shading. Got off to an okay start here, but I think right in here, messing with the head, I just couldn't really decide what was going on as far as the light source. Kind of tried a couple things, and the more I got into it, the more I was like, I don't really think this is working. Although now looking back on it, maybe the choices I was making weren't as bad as I thought in the moment. Um, but yeah, anyway, I just kind of looked back on it for a second, and I was like, no, maybe not quite yet, but I get to a point where I just kind of decide to start over with the shading. And I think that's important in art as well. An important lesson, just like, if something's not working, don't be afraid to go back a step. Even more than that, if you are trying to draw something and can't figure it out, something's not looking right or whatever, don't be afraid to just tear that paper up and try again. Don't give up, but definitely try again. But it is okay to delete your art or destroy your art. That can be really helpful at times as well. So for shading, this technique of kind of drawing the circle off to the side there and deciding where the light source is coming from, more particularly, that has been really helpful for me at times. Helps me kind of get out of my head and look at the paper and be like, okay, if this is how the circle or the sphere is lit, then how is Toby lit? Um, so yeah, that helped me out, and I still kind of fumbled through this, but the other thing about shading, I think, is it doesn't always have to be totally correct. It's more important that it is pleasing. After all, Toby's not a real bat; he's a drawing of a bat, and so if I have shadows in all the correct places, but they look bad, then I don't know, what good is that? It's better to have incorrect shadows that are pleasing to the eye than to tire yourself out trying to figure it all out. And so that's kind of what I went for. I tried to put things in basically the right spot, but more than that, I tried to make semi pleasing shapes with these shadows and yeah, make it easy on the eye. But as I'm adding the shading and as I've got the color in there, I like how the his little hairs are looking with this kind of added layer to the top of it, and they just kind of look, I don't know, they look a little more filled in. He looks like he has fur, and that's pretty nice. So adding a little more shadow here, using the multiply layer, I believe, which is a new tool for me. It's another thing I've been kind of focusing on lately, is figuring out what all the layers do and how to use them to my advantage. And so that multiply layer is really nice. Using a dark blue at a low opacity for the shadows to kind of give it a more lively feel. And I think this is where it really starts coming together for me, is adding the shadows to the pink bits, the kind of more fleshy bits, as I mentioned earlier. Once he kind of has these shadows, I don't know, something about him, he starts to look a little more realized to me. So we're wrapping up here. I think particularly these little spots on the wings, they just really kind of make it work for me. And I haven't really done a bat wing with lighting and everything before, and so that was exciting for me to get a more I don't know, three-dimensional lit looking bat wing. I'm just kind of doing some final cleanups here, and that's pretty much it. I move on to the background here fairly soon. I'm trying to decide here on what opacity to make the shadows, and deciding to make those the same opacity. But there he is. There's Toby, and boy is he glad to see you. Decided to go for kind of a maybe tangerine orange, or maybe a bit redder than that, kind of a salmon for the background. And yeah, went and added another layer in and added some blue, and I used a nice soft airbrush to add a bit of texture here. This is a trick that an artist friend showed me recently, just to kind of give, I don't know, a little more life to the piece, kind of gives it a storybook element, just to get these little scratchies in. You can see I took another pass at that to kind of, I don't know, get a little more space between those lines, make it look less like a gradient, but yeah, it just adds a little bit of texture to the paper that he's on, which I really like. So I sign my art and add the year that I made it, and there he is. The only thing I added after was the little reflections in the eyes, but I'm really happy with how this turned out, and especially compared to the first one that I had, I definitely added some life to it, but didn't lose the overall character of the image, and that was what I set out to do. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. I cannot express my gratitude enough. I really do appreciate that. And I'm hoping to make some more of these. So, yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.